Hello and welcome. What are we, day 9, I think, for those of you that have been taking the class every time. Today we're doing our Chill Yin. I want to take a brief moment and talk about props because I am not in a space where I have my props. So, which is fine, and I can kind of show alternatives. So a yoga strap is great and ideal, right? I might use this morning, but because it's a band, you want something taut. So a belt is usually going to be better. So it's either, or even like a tie, right? So that's just to be aware. There's so many options that you can do as far as replacing the belt. I also have this towel. So instead of a yoga blanket, I can use towels. If I don't have a bolster, you can also build up multiple towels, folding them to firm them up and use them as a bolster replacement. So just so you know, there's always options in finding ways to set yourself up. Okay, we're gonna just start on our back and get grounded. So invitation to do that. Nice and easy. Oh, laying down. Let's bring those feet as wide as the yoga mat and then allow the knees to fall together, which is something that I really like. If you prefer another resting shape, go for it. This is definitely in the hips a bit. And then bringing the arms up overhead if that feels good. And then we're just going to connect to ourselves and our breathing. So relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyes. And just starting to notice the breath. And an invitation to now begin to deepen the breath. And if it's available, we're concentrating the breath in and out through the nose. Breathing in and breathing out. Relax the spine, relax the hips. Couple more deep breaths. Good. And gently, we're going to move right into our first stretch. So just as a reminder, yin, ideally you do yin with colder muscles, right? So you don't want to warm up too much. You really want to start cold and then slowly let the pressure or the eustress get to it. So I'm trying this little belt. It's not ideal because it's short, but at least it's going to hold that leg. So let's extend that leg up to the sky. When you put your belt or whatever prop you have, do it right at the top of the foot and try to balance just like we're standing, like equalize that weight. So you don't want that foot turned in or turned out, right through the center. And you want to completely straighten that leg. And we are going to hold it for 3 minutes. So soften into it. You can take that left arm out to the side and just breathe here. Relax the jaw. For my friends that this is available, you can extend that left leg straight out, adding a little bit more to the stretch. And holding here. Just noticing the sounds in the space. Noticing the sensation in the leg. Really trying to release the heel towards the ceiling. And you really feel the femur, right? The biggest bone in our body, and just allowing that to really rest in the joint, letting gravity kind of do its magic there. Unlock the jaw. These slower practices always take a little bit more strength of mind, really, to be able to soften and get present. Notice what feels good. The leg is completely straight, so if I'm bending my knee to get it closer to my chest, move it further away from the chest so I can really fully straighten the leg. Breathing in, breathing out. 4 more deep breaths. Good. And from here, we're just going to take this right leg about 3 inches to the left. We're going to try to stretch our IT band, so the outside of that right thigh. So just moving over just a little bit, and you'll feel it usually, just with a little bit of an angle, and then hold it here. Breathe. Make sure that leg is completely straight. Relax the face. Relax the shoulders. And breathing in and breathing out. You can turn the head left and right. We got about 10 more full breaths. You got this. Maybe you can count and follow each breath. 3 more full breaths. Good job. Okay, one more stretch here. We're going to take now this right leg over to the right. So letting that leg open up for me, and with my back of your leg still extended, that's fine. This works for you. So whatever works, but you want to keep this left hip grounded. So I like to let this left knee kind of open up. It helps make me feel grounded. And then I also like to use my opposite hand to hold the strap. Kind of gives a break for the right hand. And hold here. If you have a wall or, a table that you can put your leg on that feels like you're getting into that deep stretch, you're welcome to do that. Find what works for you. Sometimes I can use this bottom hand to support the leg, manage the stretch. Notice what's going on with the foot. Make sure we're still foot to knee alignment. Heel is flexed. You can always change arms because these are long holds. Breathing in, breathing out. Four more deep breaths here. Notice the mind, just noticing yourself. Last full breath. And then gently, with control, bring that right leg back to center. Bring that left leg and left foot flat to the floor, and let's bench that right leg. Place that right ankle on top of that left knee. Let it rest. Feel all that circulation in the right side. Good. All right. Flexing that right foot a little bit. Now you can use the strap if you want. You can take it behind that left leg. And then in this case, if the knee is okay, you can relax the feet and just bring the unit of the legs towards you. So now I'm still thinking anatomical alignment. So that means my left knee is lined up with my left hip. And ideally my right knee is also lined up with my right hip. And then bring it close to the body and breathe here. Relax the muscles. Relax the hip. And just noticing the thoughts, where's my mind at? No judgment. And then see if we can bring it home to breath. Notice the neck. Make sure it's lined up. Two more full breaths. Maybe you got a little more space. Good. Gently release. Bring those feet back to the floor. Open the feet as wide as the yoga mat. Let the knees fall in. Take a rest moment here. Excuse the cough. I hope you enjoyed the rest through my cough. Let's take one more breath. Good. Releasing those knees, feet hip width apart. Just a couple windshield wipes, left and right, before switching sides. Enjoy this little sweetness. All right. So here we go. My right foot is grounded as I'm setting up. I want that strap again right at the top of the foot. I want to make sure that foot is balanced. Now each side is different. So meaning you could have had your left leg extended, but in this one, the back doesn't allow for that. So don't assume the body is going to go into the shape in a certain way. Be curious, right? Straighten, and breathe. Really try to soften the muscles in the leg. So feel the femur really dropping into that hip. And breathe here. And just noticing the mind. I was just completely into the future. Apparently, that's my favorite. That's what I'm really addicted to. Future thinking and planning. And no judgment, right? This is the mechanism of the mind and the ego and the human experience. So we just want to be patient and gently guide that mind back to breath. Maybe to releasing that heel a little more towards the ceiling. Maybe there's a little more space between that hip flexor and the pelvis. Breathing in, breathing out. We're working to have the whole body relaxed, even while the sensation is happening. 4 more deep breaths. That's 2. 3. 4. Good job, everybody. Now we're going to take that left leg a couple inches to the right until we can feel it through that whole outside of the thigh. Ooh, and hold here. Breathing into the sensation, softening with the exhale. Notice the sounds and the quiet in the space. I have my left hand on my left hip because right here, it's just a gentle press to make sure that I'm not rolling that hip up, but that I'm keeping it square. So if you want to try a little pressure, you might feel the stretch a little more or a little differently. Three more deep breaths. Good. Now, as you know, we're going to open it up to the left. Take your time. I'm going to let my right leg fall to the right. I can even, to help anchor the right side of the body, because it, of course, wants to follow the gravity, you can extend that right arm out as well. And really extend that left leg, opening up. Let's just put it all down, you know? All the things, all the things. Let's just see if we can give our mind and body this break. And breathe. Keep the pelvis grounded. Keep the muscles soft and relaxed. Let gravity and the strap do most of the work here, right? And breathe. And of course the arm. I'm just noticing you, noticing the body, sensations, noticing how your heart feels. Hmm. 5 more deep breaths here. And let's see if we can make it count. Staying with the breath and maybe allowing the leg to open a little more. Nice work, everybody. Nice and easy. Ooh, let's bring it back to center. Bend that left leg, left ankle. Ooh, open. So this is an external rotation of the hip, right? So right here, for my friends, some of us, this is where it's at. Especially if you've had a hip replacement and you're rebuilding there. So let that soften. And then when you're ready, take that strap. If you want, you can keep the feet relaxed for this one, if the knee feels safe. And then bring the unit of the legs towards the chest. Again, trying to think anatomically. So right knee aligned with that right hip or pelvis, and then the same thing with the left knee. You're square on the back, meaning pelvis is flat, low back is flat, and breathe. And just a shout out to, Indian science and medicine and yoga, which is where all the yoga in the United States has come from. And it has been a part of their medicine and their practice to do deep breathing, whether it's pranayama, any form of pranayama, but it's always been concentrated in and out through the nose. And you'll find now that you have a lot of Americans writing books and podcasts about how important breathing is, when the yogis have known that for a very, very long time. So for good health, staying with our breath, deepening the breath, and if it's available, concentrating that breath in and out through the nose. 3 more deep breaths. Nice work, everybody. Let's bring those feet back to the earth. Oh, yeah. So, during this July challenge, I'm keeping the classes in that 30-minute world. But honestly, after this, I got to make Chill Yin at least an hour because it just goes so fast. All right. Before one more hip stretch, I do want to do a little bit of a lateral stretch that we were going to do yesterday, banana, which is also affects the hips. So straight up, I'm going to take my right foot all the way over to the right of the yoga mat, and then I'm going to take my left foot, and I like to lock my feet together, right? And then I'm going to just take my arms and go to the right. So I look like a half moon or a banana. And you should be able to feel this whole side of the body stretching. And we'll just breathe here. Relax the shoulders, relax the hips. Unlock the jaw. You know. we're just going to do this about a minute on each side, not the full yin. Excuse me. Good. And then inhale, come back to the center, unwind the legs, stretch it out. Usha. And then left foot over to the, even past, I have long legs, but I go past the left corner and then I take that right foot, I do a little interlock, and then arms go to the left. So now we're stretching that whole right side of the body. Relaxing the jaw, right? Softening the lips and concentrating that breathing in and out through the nose. Two more deep breaths. Good. Coming back to the center, stretch it out. All right, we are going to make our way up to our hands and knees a little bit. We're going to do one pretty deep. Oh man, it's already been 30 minutes. Wow. Okay, out of respect of that, we're going to end our class with okay, I'm gonna just go further. If you need to go, you can go. But I'm gonna give us one really deep inner groin and hip stretch before ending, okay? So I'm gonna open up my towel or blanket. I am going to bring my knees as wide as I possibly can, and then I'm gonna turn my toes out like a frog. And then I'm gonna come onto my forearms and I'm gonna flirt with this stretch. So I'm gonna bring my booty behind me a little bit and we're gonna hold it here. Relax the head and neck. Some of us can go completely flat, bringing your pelvis to the floor. I'm not some of us, but if you can go as wide as available. Relaxing the head and the neck and breathe. Noticing the breath. When it feels intense and that intensity builds up, see if we can stay calm and present and in our breath. We won't do the full hold this morning, so let's just give it 5 more deep breaths. Good. Gently push yourself up. I put my weight a little forward and then start to work my knees back together. And let's just come on to our heels. Counter stretch this just a little bit. Ooh, yeah. Very deep stretch for me, I think for a lot of us. Let's just take a shavasana in a seated position. Taking a few breaths, relax the shoulders, chin up, and check in with how the body feels. And just a sweet invitation to give up your gratitude for the day. Asking ourselves, what is it that I am grateful for right now in this moment? Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining whenever you do. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Just a heads up, I will be traveling on Monday. So, our next yoga challenge day 10 or day 9, is today 9 and that's 10 or anyway, that'll be on Tuesday at 7 a.m. back in our regular space. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye.